Hi guys, and today I'm going to be talking about note-taking tips in English and my note-taking tips in general. And okay, first off, for the first 2 weeks that I've been at school, I haven't actually had to take any English notes whatsoever, because in my school my teacher does everything on the board, everything on PowerPoint, and so we get to actually visualize every single day what's going on. And that's the same with English literature as well as English language. And sorry, I was messing around with my paper. And so I don't really have to take notes, but there is some simple ways in the past where I did have to take notes which really helped me. And first of all, that is to listen to every word the teacher says. And I know that it's so easy just to forget that the teacher is even there in the classroom, start doodling away, start reading a book, talking to your friends. Depending on how strict your teacher is, some of these things are very, very easy to go to. So one of the best things that you can do is to just focus on your teacher. If you can, sit in the first 2 rows in your classroom, not right at the back, not smack bang in the middle either, because in the middle you get distractions from everywhere. So try and sit at the front where your teacher can see you, where you can see your teacher, where the board is very clear, and where you think that you're going to get on better in the classroom with no distractions. If English for you is a weaker subject, try to take notes on a lot of things, but try and just jot down simple notes, and then when you get home, either review them on the internet, look up extra things. That way you're going to really, really impress your teacher when it comes to taking your exams, and you will know a lot more than she has explained in class. If English is your best subject, you shouldn't have any of these problems. You can sit at the back of the class and you'll be absolutely fine. You'll just go and do the exam and it will all just come simple to you. There are 2 different people and it can be very different circumstances. One of the best note-taking tips is to sit and to just watch the teacher and see how she pronounces things. See how she writes certain words. See how she communicates with the class, because communication in English language is very important. There are different note-taking tips for English language and English literature because they're completely different subjects. In English language, it's all about the use of vocabulary, it's all about the use of language and how you write, your pronunciation, your punctuation, everything like that. So if you have a word that you really don't know how to pronounce, ask your teacher or look it up on Google or go on a video of how you pronounce it. And if your punctuation really isn't up to standard, you should get that right. You are doing a GCSE level English, so you should have that up to scratch by now. Remember that when you're writing an essay in English, also, this is just an extra tip, make sure that you use paragraphs correctly, because you will get extra marks for using paragraphs, and you will get extra marks for using capital letters, full stops, correct punctuation in all kinds of areas. Don't use the plus sign as and, because that is the worst thing that you can do in English. A lot of people I've seen have done it and it is so bad. In your homework, where your teacher's just going to review it quickly, as long as your answer is correct, then that's perfectly fine. But when you're writing an essay, or if you're doing a homework piece which has to be handed into the teacher, which is going to be graded and which is going to be used towards your final grade, it's very important not to use the plus sign as and, or any other sign as and, only the actual word AND. And in English literature, because this is a completely different subject, what you have to know is that you are going to have to take more notes than you expect. You will probably be revising either a segment from a book, either a whole complete story that you're going to have to read over the course of a few weeks. You're going to be looking at different phrases in literature. You're going to be looking at different literary, what do they call them? I've had a mind block. Like, you're going to have to be looking at how authors write, and you're going to be having to look at the different types of writing and different styles, and you're going to be having to look at all the different types of areas that differentiates all these authors, and it can become very confusing. So you have to take notes on every single different one of these differences that teachers will explain to you. If you miss out one, this could be terrible for you, because when it comes to the exam, they're going to put it in the exam and you're going to be like, huh? I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what she's talking about or he's talking about. So you must make sure that you do write these down and make sure that you do study them. Just because you're writing stuff down doesn't mean that you don't have to look over it in the future or just before your exam. If you just think, oh, I've got notes, it doesn't matter, I've taken notes, I've sort of studied it, you haven't. You have not studied it until you have reread it 5 million times, and that is the honest truth. And overall, when you're taking notes in English, in English language and in English literature, you must make sure that you understand what you're writing about, because there is no point in getting home, looking at your notes and thinking, I have no idea what I'm reading. I'm just reading a load of gobbledygook on a page, because that is not how you're going to learn. If there is a problem, go to your teacher the very next day, if that's possible, and ask them, what does this mean? Or is there a better way that you can explain this for me? Or is there a better way that I can write this so then it makes more sense? Because that is how you're going to learn, and that is how you're going to pass. Going over in English language is probably a little bit different to going over in English literature. English language is a lot more just simplistic, I find. That might not be the case for everybody, but it's a lot more simplistic, and it's very good for just watching and learning. You can basically learn English language just by watching, no need for note taking. But in English literature, you must be prepared to take notes. You must have a book ready or some papers ready, so then you can take notes. And I think I've basically covered about everything in English language and English literature today. I hope you have very enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you. If you have any questions, comment down below and I should get back to you, or message me. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and the next video will be note-taking tips in science. Thank you, bye!